Now at 10, the high heat and humidity finally breaking down. Tonight, I'm tracking the much-awaited drop in temps, but timing out the lagging drop in humidity.
A grand jury indicting the most powerful man in St. Louis County.
That's politics 101. You don't spend public dollars on issues like this.
Tonight, we're getting new reaction to the accusation Dr. Sam Page misused your tax dollars.
Well, I hope he stays true to his word from way back then and responds accordingly.
A West County bridal shop, no more. Now the owners face criminal charges.
To go through that, and I think you lost, it was pretty emotional.
Months after we reported on a bridal shop leaving several brides without the dresses they paid for, those same customers are now getting a sense of closure.
To get that news that someone's being held accountable for something they did, I'm pretty elated.
The bells go silent as the Cardinals closer gets shipped to the Big Apple.
I've given everything I've had.
Sports on 4 hearing from Helsley's now former teammates as he makes the move to New York.
At the end of the day, we're always going to cheer him on.
Live, First Alert 4 starts now.
First at 10, our slew of First Alert weather days have finally come to an end. The relief from the heat bringing along some storms that have now moved out. It's all clear there in downtown St. Louis. This is First Alert 4 at 10. I'm Corey Stark.
And I'm Morgan Harris in for Sam. And while the intense heat is finally coming to an end, the humidity, not so much. Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton is timing out this much needed cool down, Steve.
Yeah, 10 of the past 11 days, we've had heat index at 100 or hotter. It peaked at 110, but the heat wave is broken. There's the cold front moving in. Sparked some storms for us earlier. Now it's rather quiet. We still could see a little spot shower overnight and even tomorrow as well, but it's a low rain chance. Most of us are going to stay dry, but most of us are also going to stay rather humid. See all that red? That's still that miserable humidity. The comfortable humidity in the green, it's coming. It won't be here till Friday, okay? So still expect some mugginess when you wake up. Temperatures down around 73 degrees, 20% chance for a shower, still a bit humid, but a lot of cloud cover, a much, much cooler day tomorrow, and then the humidity starts to drop. I'll show you how that impacts your weekend plans too, coming up. All right, Steve, we'll see you in a few.
There are people that work for the county, good people that work for the county that just want to do their job. And all of the distractions and all of the political infighting just makes them have a harder job.
Some of St. Louis County's top leaders weighing in tonight on a story we first broke at noon today. The most powerful man in St. Louis County now facing multiple criminal charges. A grand jury indicting County Executive Sam Page on 4 charges.
These charges stem from a measure on the April ballot that voters rejected.
Tonight, Chief Investigator Lauren Traeger is detailing what led up to the county executive finding himself in the center of a criminal case.
I can't imagine that anyone has done anything wrong.
That was Sam Page at Tuesday's county council meeting. Wednesday, grand jurors disagreed, filing 4 charges against the county executive, all stemming from this mailer opposing Prop B, a ballot initiative that failed back in April. It would have given the council power to fire Page's cabinet. The mailer clearly stating it was paid for by the county and county executive Sam Page. Now, these new documents outline the evidence. A search warrant confirmed investigators seized an iPhone belonging to Sam Page, seeking texts and emails. Investigators, the warrant says, have interviewed St. Louis County's Chief Communications Officer Doug Moore, who said he was in direct contact with Page and obtained Page's approval for each edit to the postcard. County dollars, the warrant says, were used to mail the postcard to 55,000 addresses, quote, so the cost of the postcard printing could be kept under $5,000 to avoid having to obtain a bid for services. Postage, the warrant further adds, also came from the St. Louis County's posted machine. The indictment claims this all amounts to misdemeanor election offenses and felony stealing of tax dollars for the county executive. The Attorney General, a special prosecutor on the case, declined to comment on camera, but in a statement wrote, quote, the Missouri Constitution and our statutes are clear. Public money must never be used for political campaigning. Any intentional misuse of taxpayer dollars in an attempt to rig the outcome of an election is illegal. But former prosecutor Christy Flynn says whether the mailer was simply informational or political will be up to a judge or jury to decide.
Did it seek to, encourage the vote, or specifically the law says was its intention to advocate, support, or oppose, the ballot measure?
Lauren Traeger, First Alert 4 investigates.
Tonight, Sam Page's lawyer responding to the indictment saying, quote, "We adamantly deny Dr. Page engaged in any wrongdoing and look forward to his day in court." Well, this is the second county executive to face felony charges while in office.
And it is something multiple council members brought up when we talked to them today. And one says history is repeating itself. In 2019, former St. Louis County Executive Steve Stanger was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison for his role in a pay-to-play scheme. After he resigned, Dr. Sam Page, the then county council chair, became the county executive. John Kipper is comparing both of those cases and how Stanger's impacted county government. John?
Yeah, well, council members point to the fact the county is still in a budget deficit of tens of millions of dollars, saying this is going to be a huge distraction for quite a while. And when Steve Stanger faced subpoenas, then council member Sam Page asked for transparency. Now, council members say he needs to do the same.
I think it's a very sad day for St. Louis County.
That's St. Louis County Council Chair Rita Herday's sentiment after a grand jury indicted County Executive Sam Page Wednesday. He's facing 4 charges, including 2 felonies. Councilwoman Shalonda Webb saying the elephant in the room.
This isn't the first county exec that's had these issues, right?
Page is the second St. Louis County exec in a row to face felony charges while in office.
It doesn't seem like we can get our act together.
Page is facing the charges in St. Louis County Court. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is the special prosecutor. 6 years ago, Page's predecessor, Steve Stanger, was charged and eventually convicted in federal court. While Page's charges allege he improperly used taxpayer money to advocate for a ballot issue, Stanger was convicted of taking bribes in the form of campaign contributions to steer lucrative contracts to those donors. County Councilman Dennis Hancock signaling the similarities.
In the Stanger case, you had a county executive who took money and presumably did things that he wasn't supposed to do with it. In this case, you have a county executive who took money and did things he wasn't supposed to do with it.
It's unfortunate this has to happen again.
Councilman Mark Harder telling First Alert 4 after Stanger was indicted, he saw an exodus of employees leaving county government.
I hope we don't lose any good people out of this situation, but we're going to have to brace for that as we move forward.
And after Stanger received subpoenas, Page told the media he expects Stanger to be transparent with the council and public.
We have been demanding accountability and transparency.
Well, I hope he stays true to his word from way back then.
Hancock, who is also running for county executive next year, adds he's leaving it up to Page to decide if he will resign.
That he considers what the impact is to his family, to the county taxpayers, and to the county government.
But Webb points out Stanger resigned the day he was indicted.
The previous county executive resigned immediately so that the county has a chance to recover and move forward. And I believe this county executive should do the same.
Now, Councilwoman Lisa Clancy, Page's biggest ally on the council, calls the situation sad, adding the county has 99 problems and we don't need another one. Reporting live in studio, John Kipper, First Alert 4.
John, thank you. This is a story we first broke both on air and online. To stay up to date with this story and other breaking news alerts, be sure to have the First Alert 4 News app by scanning the QR code there on your screen and turning on notifications. You can get the first alert to news that matters to you.
New here at 10 tonight, this West County bridal shop is closed for good. And now the owners are facing felony charges after not giving several brides-to-be the items and services they paid for. Now, this is a debacle only First Alert 4 has followed for months. The people behind the defunct business are charged with nearly 24 counts of deceptive business practice.
New at 10, our Kimberly Donahue is live where the shop once stood before charges came down. Kim?
Corey, just behind me is the storefront once occupied by Signature Bridal near Chesterfield Airport Road. Another business has since expanded into the space. One former customer tells me these charges come as welcome news after she says the owners nearly derailed her daughter's big day.
It's a very emotional thing to go through a wedding.
Angela McKeever's daughter tied the knot in May, but her wedding dress did not come from Signature Bridal in Chesterfield like originally planned. So they had to pivot.
The designer helped us find a bridal shop here to go get a dress. We went to Ultimate Bride, quite honestly, and they were fabulous.
We first spoke with McKeever last October after she learned Signature Bridal never paid the dress designer, Essence of Australia, for her daughter's gown.
To go through that and I think you lost what you had envisioned, it was pretty emotional.
She is one of many viewers who contacted First Alert 4 about issues they experienced with Signature Bridal. Earlier this month, the store's owners, Megan and Scott Price, were charged with 22 felony counts of deceptive business practice. Those charges stemming from Signature Bridal customers who say they paid for wedding dresses and other services between March and November of last year, but never received them.
You know, to get that news that someone's being held accountable for something they did that affected so many people's lives and in one of those pivotal moments in their lives, pretty elated.
These are just the latest legal issues for the now defunct store. In March, a St. Louis County judge ruled in favor of a customer who sued the business, claiming they never received the gown they ordered. In November, we confronted Megan Price about customers' complaints.
So I'm just going to let you know that we have been issuing refunds, and that's that.
Is the store still in business? Because we went over to the Wentzville location.
It doesn't
looks
matter
like
if the store's in business or not. The fact that we're issuing refunds to our brides, that should be the only thing that matters.
McKeever tells us she never got a refund from Signature Bridal directly, but the mother of the bride did eventually get her money from the credit card company.
I would submit the claim, and they were refusing my claim. Well, one of the claims I finally said, look up the interview that I did, and then I did actually get my refund.
Got it. So
yeah, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have my refund right now.
If found guilty, the Prices could face up to 4 years in prison per charge, which could end up being decades behind bars, or they could just face a fine. They're next due in court August 14th. Reporting live in Chesterfield, Kimberly Donahue, First Alert 4.
There's your ball game. Cardinals shut out the Padres. What a glorious pitching performance tonight.
That was the last time we'll see Cardinals closer Ryan Helsley wearing the Birds on bat this season. He will now take the mound in a Mets uniform after the Cardinals traded the top relief pitcher.
Sports on 4's Jacob Sersasimo joins us live in studio to break down the trade. Jacob.
Yeah, hey there, guys. It's a trade we all knew the Cardinals were exploring. We just didn't know where Ryan Helsley was going to end up. With an expiring contract at the end of this season and an ERA of 3, the price for the two-time All-Star wasn't cheap. So in exchange, the Cardinals got 3 prospects from the New York Mets. We start with a shortstop and 2 pitchers in this one. The best player of the group is that shortstop, Jesus Baez, a top 10 prospect in the Mets organization. Baez is batting .267 in high A this season. Right-hander Nate Dome was a top 15 prospect for the Mets, and this season he's 3-5 on the year with a .287 ERA, mostly though in high A. Finally, the Cards get pitcher Frank Elisalt, who spent most of the season in single A. So low A guys coming to the Cardinals, no double A in there. So check this out though. Earlier tonight, Jesus Baez on second base for the Mets high A affiliate Brooklyn Cyclones called out of the game and hugs his teammates as he heads off to be a St. Louis Cardinals. So that's what the Cardinals will get for Ryan Helsley. The closer had spent his entire career to this point with the Cardinals and has had quite the impact. So coming up here in sports in a little bit, Tamar Scher has reaction from the Cardinals clubhouse. Guys.
All right, our heat wave breaking down. That's the good news. We've got the front moving through. It's going to make it much cooler tomorrow, and the humidity is going to lag behind, but it will drop off. I'll get you ready for the weekend with changes coming up.
Dozens of dogs now safe in